So welcome back to the dimecomicbros podcast. I beat you to it, Colin. Suck it.
Oh,
Thank you.
This is the first episode of 2022 as we are recording.
5 seconds into the New Year's episode. And we've dropped a C-bomb.
Very nice. We'll have to censor you, Colin. Shut up.
Stop it.
Taking balls.
My name is Jacob. I'm joined by my co-hosts, Spencer and Colin. Say hello.
Meow.
Nya nya.
Oh. I love that clip. It's one of the best ones I have on deck.
Spencer said meow.
I need to clip the shit out of that. That's so good.
Spencer said meow because he bought the $10 helmet on Halo Infinite.
That was actually me.
No, that was you. I haven't done it yet. I've resisted my urges.
I wore it too.
I hate you.
I was actually winning a lot of matches.
I've been killing a lot of people wearing it. It makes
You got
me
it
angry.
too?
No. Other people wearing it.
Yeah, because people are
like,
targeting caggers.
Well, yes, because you're a degenerate.
Yes.
So stop.
I have been a degenerate for a while.
Enough gaming talk. Let's talk about comics.
Why buy a comic that might cost more than a dime? Come meet the brothers who are here to waste your time.
But not really comics. We're going to talk about weeb shit.
We're going to talk
Yes.
about a fantastic Studio Ghibli movie that we just watched.
Came out in 1986, if anybody wants to know the date before the title.
It was 84?
We watched the
You said
English...
86, the same year Shia LaBeouf was born.
No, I said it was close to when it was born.
Speaking of the voice actors, we listened to the English dub of this movie.
And I actually thought the dubbing was pretty solid.
Yes,
Dubbing
it
was
was.
great, especially Shia LaBeouf.
Shall we name the movie?
Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. It came out in 84. It is an anime film written and directed by Miyazaki, based on the 82 manga. It was animated by Topcraft for Tokuma Shoten and distributed by the Toei Company, like everything was in that time period. Holy crap. I
Yep.
swear that name's on everything.
It is.
Is that the same Miyazaki that's behind Dark Souls?
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't put money on what I just said, but anyways.
We are professionals here.
So taking place in a future post-apocalyptic world, the film tells the story of Nausicaa, the young princess of the Valley of the Wind. She becomes embroiled in a struggle for... I don't remember how to say the word, even though they just said it a bajillion times. Sure. A kingdom that tries to use an ancient weapon to eradicate a jungle full of giant mutant insects. So, Colin.
Mm-hmm.
Our local weeb shit specialist.
Actually, no. He's a Japanese art enthusiast.
He has not enthused anything in the Japanese art world.
Well then. You want me to start?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my
this was
God.
your
You've seen
idea.
it.
This is true. Okay,
it was
so
your idea.
I've
You've
watched
seen
this
it more
movie.
times.
This is like the fifth viewing I've had, and I got to share it with you guys. But Spencer, you've already seen it
Yes,
once.
I have.
And
I have seen
Jacob,
it
have
once
you
or twice. The subbed.
Have you seen it before?
Not before today, and I did not see it all the way through today.
I know, because you were stuck on Reddit.
No, I was trying to stay awake.
Where
Now
you're
you're
napping on my lap.
I was.
I have a picture of that.
You have a nice comfy lap, by the way. It's
Thank you.
warm and
Well cushioned.
yes.
I am very well cushioned.
Thick thighs save lives. It's more space for snacks. You know.
And
This is true.
the pillow I was laying on had this nice little vibration to it.
No, that was me jerking it.
What are some things you like about this thing?
Oh,
What are some things you
So
don't
I actually,
like?
what I really loved about this whole movie was the art style. Obviously, the Studio Ghibli art style is just fantastic. It's like it's not normal jagged anime art style. It's kind of like softer. It's got softer colors too. And I really liked how they meshed like sword. What are you doing? You're distracting me. I love how they mesh guns with swords, and they have like a bunch of different type of weapons that they use.
Disappointingly,
and the
there
type of
is
ships.
no gun sword.
There is no gun sword.
There should have been a gun sword.
There should have been a gun
There
sword.
was a gunship, which was literally a 2-barrel gun.
Yeah. It was,
ship.
wasn't it great? It made no sense. It was great. I love that that stuff in this doesn't make sense. That's what's fun
I
about it.
present giant lightsaber. Continue.
No. Giant.
It's not
You're
that
awful.
giant. We've
you
seen
are
it.
awful.
I'm gonna bring you guys over on that.
I hate that lightsaber. A giant lightsaber. It makes no fucking... It doesn't... It's not that it doesn't make sense, because it does.
It actually does make
It
more
does
sense.
make sense. But it's stupid. It's just dumb.
You're stupid and dumb.
You're stupid and dumb. I actually... I had a lot of really good shots. Like, a lot of Studio Ghibli movies usually do anyway.
Yeah.
Are you saying the one
I
where
feel like they're planned
Nausicaa's
very well.
posing when they crashed the airplane? Are you talking about that shot? Or like the other time that she's posing?
No.
There are a lot of poses.
There are
a lot of poses
You
in
could
this
slap.
movie.
You could slap that on a poster.
Yeah, we could.
That could be a wallpaper.
Yes.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah, because
And
it's
then-
nice like that.
Ends the final battle by T-posing.
Yeah. I don't really like seeing bugs a lot.
Me neither.
I don't know what it is. It's not that it doesn't gross me out in the slightest. Not at all. It's just they're not visually appealing to me. So I don't like seeing bugs and things a lot, but it just makes sense in this world anyway.
These were
So,
pretty
like, any-
nasty too, because they had their tentacles or arms or whatever coming out of their mouths, and that's how they crawled around. So quite gross.
Yeah, that was pretty gross.
Lots
but
of chittering.
yeah, that was
My
a lot of
least favorite
chittering.
word.
I just don't like.
Worse than
Bugs.
the one I used yesterday with niggling.
Ugh.
I think that's funny.
Thank you.
That's very good.
What do you think, Jacob? What do you think about this movie? What are your thoughts? Just not many thoughts, huh?
Not many thoughts.
So that translates to not enough bitches.
Jeez.
It's not true.
Oh, I loved what's her face? She's got like one arm.
Ah, yes.
I loved her. I can't remember
Whoever
her
is
name.
lucky enough to be my husband, well, there'll be nothing. It's like, bro, nobody asked to know.
Nope.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling people.
But I
Bro.
liked her a lot.
That was so weird. Congrats, a bug ate your junk. Nice.
I can
I don't know.
agree. The artwork is really nice. It's the most approachable for anime. It looks like a Saturday morning cartoon, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So that has its props. I don't really connect with the goofy nonsense aspect of it, though. That kind of turns me off when it turns Colin on. So there's a divide there.
That is the thing I do tend to agree with Jacob on, is the general humor of anime I've never really found funny.
So
It's not usually distracting.
it's not that I found it funny.
No, it's not that it's funny. It's like they've got warships that are freaking built like tanks, and they take 2 bullets and they're exploding in the sky, and it's like that doesn't make sense. Or you've got sword fights with guns, which could happen and has happened before, but it's not gonna be an even fight.
No, well, I mean, not everyone has a gun. Not everyone has a sword. Not everyone has a sword and gun. So it just depends.
Colin definitely has a sword in his pants right now.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
it's not that long, but it's still a sword
And
nonetheless.
it's not a gun either.
It's a
It's
dagger.
definitely not a gun.
Shoot,
The reason why I like... Oh my god.
Same.
Shut the fuck up. It's not that I find it humorous. The goofy aspect of, like, certain things aren't... It's campy to me.
Yeah,
It's like Star Wars.
Kinda.
it's all right. That makes perfect sense.
Do you see what I mean?
I like the shitty horror movies because it's campy.
Yeah, it's not that... It's because I already like watching things that need to make sense, or, like, there has to be an explanation for certain things, or, like, things are already set in somewhat of a realistic, but not really, but yes it is, but not really, world, like our stupid superhero movies that we have.
Generally speaking, they follow internal logic. Anime
Yeah.
doesn't usually.
Yeah, and it's just a good change of pace, and I like using that, and I'm probably going to use it for my own stuff, too.
Fair. I don't have much.
I guess there's not much to say about this.
It's just a really...
What would Colin do to make this different? What is something that you hate that you would change?
Needs more lasers.
No, I actually like that there's not lasers. Because there's, like, no lasers except for that giant creature, giant guardian or whatever.
And he blasts his laser twice and then dies.
I loved that. Because they couldn't just harness the power of... I like that there's a lot of lore, actually. There's a lot of, like, lore of, like, 1,000 years beforehand, and then we get to see a guardian. like in present time instead of seeing like flashbacks in the beginning. But I liked that they showed rather than tell, because anime is very much tell kind of show, but more tell than show.
Anime does have a bit of an exposition problem.
Yeah, but I like when people are show, don't tell. And they did that a little bit in the beginning of it already. When we're showing those, like, first off, the iconography of, like, what happened 1,000 years ago. And then we actually got to see some glimpses of it with those guardians, which I love, monolithic creatures. I think I would have loved to see a little bit more of that in the beginning. And nothing really comes to mind right now, but there's probably a couple more things I would have liked to see.
On exposition problems, there was definitely, I'd say 2 times, where it was like, I need to go do the thing to stop the thing. But 2 is like a really low number if we're talking about an anime. So that's kind of a backhanded compliment, I guess, is that they kept it down quite a bit in this one.
Yeah.
But I definitely got annoyed with Nausicaa yelling, please, you need to listen to me, so much through this movie. She says it a lot.
No, sometimes she is definitely annoying.
That's actually my largest complaint. Is I don't care. The character's fine, but there is very little shown or stated for why she in particular is supposed to be interesting, aside from ooh prophecy shit. Not because it's a chosen one narrative at all, thank God, but just like she's there, and the opening was really good. And you know,
Is a chosen one.
She does.
well, it is. She is a chosen one, but it's not a chosen one narrative because we don't even realize that until the end.
Yeah, it's just like a prophecy, and then it's like, oh, it's not a dude, it's a girl. Or it could have been anyone, but she happens to be the one at this time,
Right.
or whatever.
But aside from that, it's like, okay, so we see her do some. Basically, the only thing she has as a personality trait is compassion, and that's about it. Like, she just wants less violence, and she wants to have compassion for the other things that exist, and to not have to fight about it, and whatever, and that's all good. But like, there's nothing else really, personality-wise. We sit and interact with a couple of kids for one single scene, and just that. I don't know. It feels like there needed to be more there to justify why this character in particular is really interesting. Why? What are you guys doing?
Cracking our toes. 'Cause it feels good.
He started it.
Crack your toes.
Ooh, crack my toes, Daddy. She's don't touch my toes.
Yeah, I just really feel like she needed a little bit more meat and potatoes to her character.
A little more meat on her.
Don't talk about the 16-year-old like that.
Are we done with Nausicaa?
I think we are.
I don't think there's much else for us here.
No, I think we're good.
It's a little bit of a wasteland overrun with mutant bugs. So something we finally get to follow up on from 2 weeks ago is Hawkeye episode 6, the finale. We get the big old punchy punch episode.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say the big man.
Also
big
true,
man.
we do get the big man. Jacob, why don't you lead us off on this one?
I am just so happy to have Vincent D'Onofrio back as the Kingpin. Kingpin is back, and they quickly beat the crap out of him and then shoot him, but probably not.
Yes. Do we want to get that little bit out of the way?
Yeah, I'm
that's a
pretty
comic
sure
bit.
he's coming
Yeah,
back
oh, he
in
is.
Echo.
Yes.
Well, yeah, he definitely is. He's not dead because that's from the comic.
Yeah, no, he's probably going to be temporarily blinded. It would be the most... She also shot him in the head one time in the comics, and he was blind for a little while. It was weird. I liked that scene at the end as a tease. It didn't feel like too much of like a cliffhanger-y thing, but it was really funny. It's like, yeah, this whole scene, and then just you get a gunshot off screen. It's like, okay, that was kind of dumb, but
Because it's not like they're going to bring him back just to kill him off.
Exactly.
It's like, come on.
No, he's back. The man is back. And the bigger thing with him that I am... Okay, frankly, the internet's reacted to this very poorly, and I'm very kind of annoyed by it. Like what you like, you don't like what you don't like, that's fine. But it seems to be that a lot of the consensus is treating this like they treated him like a cartoon character, and I don't think that's true at all. I understand if you literally just watched Daredevil 5 minutes ago, the contrast is pretty strong, but he's clearly a bit stronger for sure, not absurdly so. It's a different context. We're watching a Marvel Studios series, which is a little bit more hyped up, and he took an absolute beating before temporarily going down for about 3 seconds. He got a freaking arrow to the chest. He got multiple small explosions in the chest region. He got hit by a fucking car, and he was barely defeated by Kate using a shit ton of explosives on him, and then he was down for like 2 seconds. This wasn't some. I swear to God, I saw the argument I thought we were over, since we know we have less Star Wars movies now. I saw the, oh my gosh, did they just Mary Sue this? And I went, I'm gonna actually kill you. She barely survived that fight in and of itself, and had way too much help for that. And he just kept walking, like he was treating her like a pest the whole time. Like he went down, but he didn't like lose, not like that. And that just annoyed me.
Maybe this is why you should stay off the internet.
Very true. I'm considering it every freaking day.
After rewatching I did rewatch the episode. After rewatching the episode for a second time, I don't like his outfit.
It's literally stripped right from the comics, too.
Just because it's from the comics doesn't mean it's good.
I agree with you. I thought it was funny. I liked it.
I didn't.
Because he's still wearing the white jacket, but it's like,
I like that.
What if you put on a Hawaiian shirt underneath? And I think the hat is lovely.
No, I thought the Hawaiian shirt was like, okay, I can take this, but you can't have the Hawaiian shirt and the hat. They gotta be separate.
Yep, I like the hat and the coat.
And the Hawaiian shirt.
I hear Colin. It's
But,
gotta
like,
be the coat and the shirt, or the coat and the hat.
It's got to be the coat and the shirt or the coat and the hat. Yeah, exactly.
I can see that.
It's just those two together. Just doesn't look good as an outfit anyway.
I guess. I appreciated the small continuity, like, attention details on this, because I know I brought this up 1,000 times. I was really, really concerned that they're going to bring back the actors and then, like, semi-reboot the characters. Yeah. He's wearing the same cufflinks. Those were his dad's cufflinks, and he has a cane because he's got his leg busted up by freaking Bullseye. Like, it's the same one, and was stated specifically by the actor. He played this exactly as he was continuing on. It's in a different state of, he wasn't snapped, but the rest of the world went to crap. So he's recovering from his empire being in ruins at the end of Daredevil, anyways. So it's seeing him in a different context. Yeah. He acts the same when he's in control. He's super smooth and normal, and then as soon as something goes wrong, he starts like man-child ranting. Yeah. And breaking shit.
Yeah, that's him.
He's
autistic.
Kind of. He's emotionally stunted, if nothing else.
Okay.
He's even got the same eye twitches are coming back. Like that was so good to see. It made me so happy.
I love him. He's great. I also am so glad that they didn't add any they didn't add any padding to him or like CGI fat or like anything. I'm so glad, because there was talks of it apparently, and I was like, please don't. Please do not.
They just let the actor act, and it's
not
really
a cartoon.
Cool. It was the only thing that was a little not off-putting, but it took me aback was just we're seeing him basically at his lowest point of he has the one operation left that seems to be one of the first ones he started, decades ago. So it's this guy in a Hawaiian shirt in the back of like a trailer office. It does look a little like this isn't what we're used to seeing him in, but it doesn't mean it's out of character.
No. But that's like that's taken him 5 years to get to this small point though.
I don't think, because we don't know exactly what's happened. We know that because Daredevil roughly takes place just about when Infinity War happened. Like the end of Daredevil's, the end of all the Netflix stuff is around Infinity War area. So not too long after, and it seems like he was not blipped. Probably everything else was, but so he was already locked up, had almost everything taken away. No Vanessa, and like nothing else. So it makes sense, whatever he did to either get out, break out, whatever. And he's going back to the one thing he seems to have had, because this is not a new operation for him. That seems to be like one of the OGs, Yeah. They've been, indoctrinating children for a couple decades.
Yeah, of course.
Also, I just love that it's Fat Man's car repair. That's so funny. That's good. Anyways,
I do like that.
Moving on. You have embarrassed me for the last time in front of Vanessa. Do not smack talk my drip.
What else from this episode?
I thought the action was actually...
Kingpin.
Yeah, I thought the action was really good.
The fight scene was freaking awesome.
The fight with him, the fight between Clint and all of the goons,
Kate
the arrows
using
were
the
great.
trick arrows was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was really well choreographed. It didn't
He
feel
looks so good in the suit.
He does.
He looks so good in the suit.
It does feel really funny saying, this 55-year-old man wearing a purple tracksuit is cool, but it is.
So cool.
Can we take a time out? Because Colin just 180'd completely from his complaints about the suits. They look like a freaking porn suit.
No,
porn
no. No, I said Kate looks like a porn star. She looks like a character from porn.
No, she doesn't.
Yeah, she does.
You're still wrong.
No, she does.
You
But I
said
mean, no, just
it
her
was
as a person, she
because
looks like a porn
uniforms
actress anyway.
looked like cheap knockoffs.
Is he? I can't tell if that's supposed to be a negative or not.
I never said it was. I just said that's what she looks like to me.
When you
I never said it was a bad
said
thing.
I'm about to start white knighting. Please keep me from not. Don't let me white knight for Haley Steinfeld.
Back
Or just a white knight anyway.
when Colin was saying that, he was saying it about the uniforms, that they looked like cheap Kmart special knockoffs of the regular
You're saying uniforms, plural. I said uniform, and I talk about her.
I think you're cheating.
I'm not cheating. Look it up. Look through our entire conversation.
I'm really looking forward to the Echo series. I know because there's the speculation it might be like a Daredevil backdoor, whatever. Like, cool beans, that's all good. I hope it probably will be. But just on the merits alone that this series is kind of set up, I think it'll be nice. It looks interesting, and also having her as a lead character would just bring a whole other like tonality to how they're gonna have to like work with the show, and I think that'd be cool.
There was no cliffhanger or continuance for this show at all. Like, you have the Echo show that's confirmed, but like the post-credit scenes, which sucked, by the way.
I loved it because I hated it.
It was so bad.
It was
What
just
was it again?
It was just the musical, the
Broadway.
whole thing.
I hated that.
I hated it because it's cringe and clearly supposed to be cringe. I appreciated that it wasn't, oh, here's just a clip from the next series or the next movie, because they've been doing that a lot. Apparently, that's one of the ones from Spider-Man. It's just a trailer for the next movie.
It just doesn't make sense that it was so cringe for like 10 minutes straight, and there was no punchline to the cringe. It was just 10 minutes of cringe.
I guess.
I don't like that that's how our show ended off.
Whatever.
I just don't like that.
I liked the ending in and of itself. It was not. It wasn't like tearjerker levels of crazy, but I thought it was pretty poignant. It was nice that it closed the door on all the Ronin stuff, and I just Kate going home with Clint was really nice. I kind of thought they were gonna go there anyways.
I like that.
But it was like, oh, this is nice. And
Also, his
quaint.
wife is
She's Mockingbird. Their Agents of Shield is so dead because they just covered over an entire other character. But cool beans works for me. That was I think everyone knew that.
That is not true. I have no idea about anything about it.
The back of the watch had Agent 19 and it was a shield, and that was it. That's all
I didn't know it was Agent 19.
Yeah.
Wait, how do we know?
Because 19 in the comics is Mockingbird. Very specific.
But we've never heard. She was never in the show.
What do you mean?
The character was never in the show.
This show? No.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agents of Shield.
No, she was. There was literally Agent 19 was in the show. Her actual name that the character has in the comics. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is like quadruple confirmed to be out of continuity. RIP, such is life.
That's good. It's a shitty show anyway.
You're wrong, but whatever.
I'm not.
Whatever.
You're the kid that thought everything about Gotham was great.
Moving
Yes,
on
because it
to Star Wars, The Book of Boba.
I had one more thing.
But I want to talk about The Book of Boba.
I got fine.
I'm just kidding. What was your one more thing? Boba.
I didn't like the post-credit scene. Like, I didn't enjoy watching it. I appreciated the fact that they said we did shoot this entire sequence. We're not going to just like clip chimp it in the beginning and use like the 3 seconds of whatever they did. And I was like, it's just a thing that they stuck on the end. There's no setup. There's no fucking either the character that we're gonna see Clint again, obviously somewhere. Maybe Kate will get her own show or whatever, but there is no. I'd be willing to bet that this show is not getting directly continued. It's just its own little contained thing. We're gonna get Echo doing her own stuff, and then maybe we'll see Hawkeye again. Like, there's no. And this is setting up Avengers 5. Like, kill me.
Doesn't
None of that
Bishop
shit.
become Hawkeye?
She is Hawkeye.
Okay,
That's why they're doing all the name stuff. They're like, hey, I wonder what you should get. That's literally the end of the show. Is like, I wonder what you should call yourself. And then Clint's like, oh, I have a name. And then they slap the title on it.
Yeah, Hawkeye.
Yeah, they're both
So
Hawkeye.
I think the Hawkeye show would continue with just her, if anything.
I don't think they're going to, though.
I think it'd be so dumb just to, like...
No, I think
What would you call that show?
Hawkeye. I just mean it would be different. It's not going to be a season 2. I think it's something different. I think this is a mini series.
I think it should be season 2.
Who fucking cares? All I know is the character is good and she's here to stay, doing whether her own stuff or she'll be in the Avengers, or if Clint will eventually actually die, or if he will actually retire. That won't happen because this is the 18th time he's come out of retirement.
Yeah. No, he's got to die first.
No. I am genuinely happy that Age of Ultron didn't end up killing him now. Now that all of this stuff has happened, what they did with him afterwards...
Was he supposed to die? Oh,
that's why Quicksilver was such crap, because literally that Joss Whedon was planning on killing Hawkeye. That's why they built him up as having a family and blah, blah, blah in that movie. Oh. And then the studio was like, nope, you should kill off Quicksilver because we have studio drama with Fox right now. So then they just... butchered all of that nonsense, but
that happened.
I liked how they continued to work with Hawkeye in the next 2 Avengers movie and in Civil War, and then this. It feels like the character actually had somewhere to go, and I like that. So yes, Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian season 2.5.
Oh, I have a hard time with the show.
I agree.
Because it's an old dude trying to do action scenes. It's like The Irishman. It's kind of like there's some scenes where it's rough because you can see he's like stiff. He's like, it's because he's older. That's like kind of the only problem with this.
I strongly disagree, but not for the right reason. I agree with you, and I think that's literally the point.
Yes.
He's fragile. He literally got hit like twice, and he's got to go back in the back to tank. Like
no, not then. I'm talking about when we're seeing old scenes of him.
Return of the Jedi happened 4 years before this.
5 years.
5. That's 5. How old is he? He's in his 50s.
I know.
That doesn't change much in your 50s. He's old.
No, but in comparison to what we saw in the original Star Wars movies, it's weird because he's also skinnier.
He didn't do anything in Star Wars.
I know that. It's still weird in comparison.
How? The only thing he did, he walked around Jabba's palace.
Hold on. What I'm talking about is not him looking awesome. I'm talking about him actually doing, like, getting pushed over and shit. The actor looks weird because he's stiff, because he can't actually fall, or the actor might actually break himself. It looks weird.
I think it looks like an old man falling over, exactly. The only thing... We saw in Return of the Jedi, where he has screen time, he stood in Jabba's palace, he pointed a gun at people like twice, he did one quick draw, and then he used his jetpack. That's it.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm literally talking about when he gets pushed over in the show.
Yeah.
Like, whenever he gets hit, it's so stiff, it hurts to look at.
That's the point.
No, it's not the points.
Then why is the show drawing attention to the fact that he's old and brittle?
No. When the scenes I'm talking about are not the scenes where they're trying to show him as brittle.
That's all of it.
No.
That would be sloppy if they only showed it in certain points, and then other times he's just a random stunt double bouncing around like crazy. It's consistent.
This is the same argument I have with Darth Vader in Rogue One, though. Because he looks like he's super limber and, like, swinging around and stuff. He's, like, very loose.
It's because he does.
And then
he only used his wrist in that scene. It was literally just the wrist.
He's stiff because he acted by an older dude or whatever, and that makes sense because he's more machine than man and he's burned and whatever. Like Rogue One, he's way too limber.
No,
he doesn't move in Rogue One.
Yeah,
he literally just walked down the hallway.
Does.
He was flicking his wrist in that scene, and he did one force choke. That was it.
We should move on.
No, my fucking word. Also, he's just not a great actor anyway. It's awkward. His scenes are weird. I don't really like it. It's awkward. It's just not enjoyable.
How is it that you like The Mandalorian being awkward as hell?
It's a different kind of awkward.
No shit. But it's still awkward. It's this guy...
It's not that.
This
guy is what?
Awkward. He's dealing with the fact that he's never had any friends. He's had like one person only really recently that he has any attachment to. He's trying to not live up to his father's legacy. He's trying to essentially redeem like his own bloodline. He's trying to do things better than other people around him, and that's all he has to do. Like he's never had time to interact with people. He's just done with the work, and that's it.
The difference in awkwardness is that the Mandalorian, his awkwardness is leave me alone. I'm just trying to get coin, toss a coin to your Witcher, and then Boba Fett is like, ha ha, I'm so-and-so, and I'm the Boba Fett. Bounty Hunter Boba Fett.
It actually
Like-
feels like old man dad vibes.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun.
I fucking love it.
It's not
like
fun.
it's like look at this guy who's like 50 whatever. Like he's not trying to be a badass. That's just kind of how he acts. Like he's not full of shit. He's not full of himself. He's
I
just
don't think
walking
he's
around.
being directed correctly, because when he was that way, I can see the difference between him in that and season 2 Boba Fett. It feels like completely different.
It's the same director who directed all the
Are you serious?
It's the showrunner for this series. The
He's
one
doing
who's doing,
something wrong. He's doing something wrong with this episode. He looks so weird for some reason to me.
It might be because he has the helmet off less, or he's not in the armor as much.
I don't.
Maybe.
Maybe the actor's just better in the armor than he is with his own face. I think he should have the helmet on more than seeing him.
I disagree with that, but I get why it was kind of a necessity for some of that too.
Yeah.
It
but
also it does enable you to use
also,
a
I think
stunt
some of the
double a
scenes
little
are feel shot. They feel different with how they're shot. Like they don't feel as. Now this is stupid, and I know it's stupid. It doesn't feel Star Wars.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so it doesn't feel Mandalorian to me.
Yeah, literally.
I don't know.
This feels more classic trilogy than Mando does. Mando is evocative, but in a new way
This
of
does
doing
not
the same
feel
thing.
like
This
original
feels like
trilogy.
watching fucking Star Wars.
This feels like
again.
I'm watching the prequels.
What?
Yes.
In what capacity? Aside from one actor being kind of stilted.
In the
Write
shots.
this down.
In the shots.
The prequels were nothing but digital, like fake camera shots.
That's not the
How?
scenes, the shots, how they looked,
How
angles.
they're composed. Yeah, this is being shot on set. The reason the prequels look the way the prequels do is because most of their quote unquote camera work was a digital camera in a digital environment.
I know that.
This is being shot almost identically to The Mandalorian. Stylistic choices are different, but logistical stuff is basically the same.
Yeah,
it has
same.
the same the set tech, all that stuff.
Okay, then I guess I'm saying stylistic choices.
I don't see what's different. Like, if I'm not saying you have to provide an example or you're wrong, but I genuinely don't really see what's different aside from there's the music is different, obviously, and there are less like of the Star Wars crossfades because Mando does that left, right, and center, where it does the whatever the heck that's called. That transit. There's a bit less of that.
So I think that's a little odd too. I feel like
Star Wars has always kind of bounced in and out of doing that.
Yeah, and I wish they when bouncing in and out of that, I think they should just like own up to it. Like, yeah, this is mine.
Oh.
That's just how I feel.
Do you have any fun with this then?
Not really.
Damn, dude.
I mean, except for when he like killed that weird creature on Tatooine, and
Exactly
the guy
like
gave
Leia
him
did.
water. Yeah,
Like
exactly
Leia killed
how
Jabba
Leia-
Hutt.
I mean, maybe I enjoyed that.
Maybe
but
you're just joking.
I just don't. No, I don't really
Especially
enjoy
when
that.
it's Princess Leia. This show has a weird vibe to it. I can kind of hear what Colin's saying. There's not a whole lot of dialogue. There's a lot of just Boba Fett getting the crap beat out of him. And he's enslaved and he's remembering his shitty childhood. It's different from Mandalorian, which is fine, but it's just different. And it's pretty different from the movies, too. It's just got this weird, silent, mostly vibe to it. And it's awkward, but it's probably gonna even out as the show goes on when he establishes himself over the mayor. Establishes himself as the crime lord.
I think this episode might have done that a lot because this is like 90% flashbacks. So we have a lot of him being in the desert, dehydrated, and getting the shit kicked out of him. I think as we move more into the actual current timeline stuff, I think a lot of those problems will subside.
Exactly.
I enjoyed the beginning part, or I can't remember if it's exactly the beginning or if it's like after we see him in the tube or whatever. I liked when we saw him in the stupid desert worm coming out of there.
Right. I
loved that scene.
Explain how he escaped.
Yeah, I liked that.
The reason I liked that was because it didn't overstay its welcome.
Yes.
Because I was afraid that was going to turn into every fan film has done that. It's nothing. It's just about Boba Fett's game. It's like, okay, he stabs it, he uses a flamethrower, and he climbs out. It's not a lot. It takes 2 minutes.
I really liked that the sand clung to his suit because of the slime.
He's sticky.
I like that they paid attention to that. But what bothered me was how quickly the armor got taken away from him. I think that bothered me because because I wanted to see him in the armor more when he at that point. Colin wanted to see more of him get out of there and do whatever, blah, 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 blah. But it made sense that I got taken away from him.
Does anyone else find it weird that he was in the custody of like a 12-year-old Tusken Raider?
It was very strange.
I thought it was like visually funny. It was like, this is like a tween.
I liked that. Okay, so I liked that.
I actually really didn't like the monster design.
I hated the monster design.
It was funny. I had no, it's like, okay, cool, whatever, you know.
I hated that.
Looked like
Guru or
that's what I was gonna say. It looked
Mortal
like Goro
Kombat.
from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
It's like okay, like
gross.
That's
cool.
exactly what I said when I saw it.
Yeah,
I was like
that-
Guru!
But he's green.
Shit, what was it, dude? And I'm so glad that fucking alien got killed. So happy.
The Rodian. It was a red Rodian. I don't think we've seen.
Only in probably
In the
Star Wars:
animation.
Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're usually green or yellow.
Yeah.
Oh, they're little weird fingers. He's so funny.
I'm so glad he died. He was a bitch.
He was a little bit of
He
a
was
bitch.
such a bitch for no reason.
Little bitch Rodian.
Yeah, I clearly enjoyed this a hell of a lot more than you guys did.
Yeah.
I also just am a massive sucker for Tusken Raider stuff now. Now that they're just whole invested in it. We're just doing a lot of stuff with Tusken Raiders.
Love that.
I like that.
I did find it was really strange that the Tusken Raiders. I was like, whoa, they're making them look different now. Because they all looked the same before.
I think that was more just a budgetary thing. I think because in the animated stuff and even in the prequels to an extent, there's still more variation. I think this is because it's like a different. Not a different village, like a different.
I thought about that too. It's like a different...
because the ones that we saw in the prequels were roughly like distance wise close to where the Lars homestead was that Luke ended up being on. So those were probably the same ones that Luke had to deal with, like descendants, whatever. So that like clan, whatever you want to call them. But these ones are over by Mos Espa, which is like way on the other side of that cluster on Tatooine. It's not the other side of the planet, but it's miles and miles away. This is closer to Jabba's palace, so I felt like that like made sense.
No, I do like that they look different. It's just you can't ignore that they look completely different, except for like, of course, the regular.
I mean, I definitely wouldn't
things,
say
like their
completely
helmets
different.
are the
Like
same.
yeah, it's just there's a couple of additional colors in their clothes. That's really it.
No, they do look completely different. They got okay. What I mean by that is they have more variation, variety to their clothing, and then we got someone who's got like fake braid hairs, or if it's real hair coming out of their.
I do wonder if we're ever going to actually see what they look like, because there was, I think, something about that in Legends. One time we actually got to see what they look like underneath all the wrappings and whatever.
I thought they just looked like humans. They're just literally normal people.
I don't think so.
I think that was just porn.
Probably, to be fair.
One thing that I did like was the political game that Boba Fett had with the mayor. That was quite enjoyable. And I wanted to clarify that it's not that I didn't like this show, it's just a rough first episode, because you have the exposition dump of where he's been for the last however many years. So once he gets rolling as the crime lord, it's going to be great. I expect to like this show.
I do like how the armor hasn't been totally refurbed either, because that was, I remember when
it was totally
in season 2, it was like like totally polished up and new coat of paint and everything.
Yeah, I didn't like
and then
that.
during season 2, he still went and did stuff, so it got more dinged up. So it follows that because it was when Cobb Vanth had it, it was completely fucked up because it had been in the Sarlacc pit and whatever. So it made sense that he needed to redo structural integrity problems.
Acid definitely cut through the paint and shit like that.
Yeah, so he needed that. So I like how this is still it's still beat up. Like it's closer to what he would have looked like in Return of the Jedi, not color wise, but like armor dinging amount. So it's moved. It didn't have to linger on the. This is really easy to make toys out of because it's all new and shiny stuff. It felt like that was just him kind of doing it. It didn't feel like they were doing that for merchandise, even more so now than originally. It's like, oh, they're continuing to make it look like crap. I don't know.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm looking forward to more.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely want more because I want to enjoy this.
I think it's
when I saw
7
that it
episodes?
came out, like the first episode came out, I was so excited for it. I'm just a little annoyed that I'm not that as excited for it because I like Boba Fett a lot.
Not to totally speculate way out of left field already, but do we have any ideas on who the whatever political element in whatever thing is going after him, aside from the obvious? I don't know, maybe it's the mayor or whatever.
Maybe it's another hut.
Do we think there are going to be any extraneous connections to anything else, or is it going to be a returning loosely character?
I would love it
we've
as a
seen
Black
before?
Sun.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking it's gonna either be Black Sun or Crimson Dawn, because Crimson Dawn's been coming up a lot in the comics right now.
Wait, no, yeah, Crimson Dawn. That's what I was
a
talking.
lot.
Wait, Crimson Dawn's the one that Beth Maul was a part of, right? Or is
Yep.
that what?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Who's Black Sun? What is that?
That's
still Star Wars?
That's
Yeah.
Shadow of the Empire.
Yeah. I don't believe it ever got brought back yet. It would be cool to have another like whole.
I meant Crimson Dawn.
Yeah,
I want Crimson Tower.
because the Crimson Dawn book right now is taking place between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, I believe. It's like an event crossover thing we talked about a little while
Crimson
ago.
Dawn and the Clone Wars. And then, that was cool. I liked
It
that.
would be nice to get some sort of loop in from Solo, because that whole thing is getting seemingly sidelined into the comics, and it looks like the comic writers all over it. But it would be cool if that got wrapped around into the series a little bit more, so it doesn't feel like the
Solo just
Mando
happens.
universe, and then we had those two really random films, and then we have the Skywalker movie. You know, it would feel cool if they kind of smushed them together a little bit more, because
They do feel a little
even
separate.
visually and tonally, they're pretty darn close. It's just the stories really haven't touched. Maybe that was intentional. Who freaking knows? Any final thoughts and anything? Okay, cool. Do you think we'll see any Hutts?
I would think it'd be nice that, like, we saw some Hutts, because, Jabba the Hutt dead or gone or whatever.
True.
But, I mean...
What about his gay uncle? His gay uncle's gonna come back.
For how long that he's been dead, maybe you would have thought that, like, the Hutts already were trying to get that seed already, but I don't know.
I like seeing the Gamorreans. It's like, oh, look at the fat pig man. It was so dumb.
I loved that.
It was so silly.
I actually loved that.
It was so funny. They're just walking around with their guts out. Like,
I was really happy with that inclusion.
it was.
Good
I thought
stuff.
it was nice. It was cool to see them again. It was a nice example of like his attitude too.
What about Jabba's son?
We're gonna talk about that little shit again.
What if we get Jabba's son?
You're right.
They
Unironically,
might do that, and they
you're
might do
right.
that, and they might bring him back, and you might actually be badass.
unironically, I don't know when the last canonical sighting of that little shit was. Oh
It was
my!
Clone Wars.
I don't think there was ever any follow up after
Nope.
that, because it was universally hated. Oh gosh.
What if he comes back and they make him good?
Oh, what if they bring him back and then Ahsoka crosses back over?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right. What have you guys been up to? Just moving away from Star
I'll
Wars.
take the first one.
Oh boy.
I had to cram last minute today. I read the entire run of Trigger, produced by Vertigo Comics. There's 8 of them. It is written by Jason Hall, and the art is done by John Watkiss.
Would you want me to kiss?
Watt.
His want.
It feels very cyberpunky, very Blade Runner-y.
I see boobies.
It also has a corporation that controls everything and censors everything, and that's interesting. But the reason it's called Trigger is because there are a couple of people, also known as triggers, because they can be triggered into becoming a super spy assassin and whatever, and they do what the corporation wants them to do, but they themselves don't even know what they're doing because they've been triggered. So it's a very interesting premise. The 2 last issues that I had to cram today, the 7th issue sucked. I have no idea what it has to do with the story, and it was really dark and depressing. And then the last issue was, well, shit, we got canceled. We're gonna try to wrap this up, but we're not gonna. So it was quite the letdown of a run. It looks cool. It's a cool idea, but they canceled it.
Damn.
Rip, another comic lost to cancel culture.
8 issues, I got it for $8.
Huh.
Lots of booba. Colin would love.
Can I see it?
I have to see first. I must approve this for my son. You really do just like have just really random stuff on deck.
Yep.
I swear to God, you do read more than any of us like both of us combined.
Oh, yeah, you do. Oh, yeah, she is right there. Well,
Very nice.
Yeah, Colin might like it if you can get past the artwork.
It's funny.
'Cause
I don't mind the artwork at all.
It is super Blade Runner-y.
So
Yeah, that's what it kind of looks like.
I have to say the one thing that I keep bumping across whenever you have one of those or whatever is, despite individual issues being a lot more expensive these days, I'm okay with it because I'm really tired of getting advertisements in comics. I genuinely hate it. Marvel still does it, and that's why their books are like $3 versus DC's are like $4 to $7 for individual issues. I hate having advertisements in comics. I get you have to like pay for it and whatever. You need the advertiser space. When you're trying to read something and then it's a two-page like perfume spreader, and then there's one more page of comic and then 2 more pages of ad. It's so obnoxious.
That was one of the funnier things about reading this line was the commercials that are in it, because this comic is so old. We have Elektra with Jennifer Garner.
We're gonna talk about this year.
There's Enter the Matrix.
Ooh.
There's Blood Rain 2. Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater. Like,
That was one of the better ones.
Really old stuff. Killzone, the original.
Damn dog.
Fable. Anybody remember Fable?
Yeah. It's only like my 3rd favorite video game franchise.
That was me trying to trigger Spencer. See what I did there?
Triggered!
Who's
Dude,
next?
I doubt you even know what Fable is, bro.
Go look over there. Go look over there.
I have all 3.
I actually lost my copy of the remastered version of the first one.
Aw.
Yeah, I know. Colin.
Colin, man.
Oh,
Colin needs a question.
Hi, Duke.
What genre would fit best for an Indiana Jones game?
Oh.
I think there's a clear choice, but I think you could do a lot of things in other areas as well. So I want your opinion on this.
Genre?
Yeah, what type of game? If you were going to make an Indiana Jones property.
I feel like I would make it it would have to be classified as a horror game in the way that I would want to make it. Not because Indiana Jones is anywhere near horror. It's more like it can be classified in gore if you make it gory enough. But
There are scary scenes.
there can be. But it would be like a horror game that's not jump scare. Right. It's just unsettling. That's how I would like to make an Indiana Jones game.
Because, I mean, the Well of Souls, when they're
Oof.
walking through all the skeletons.
Spooky.
And you got the serpent crawling through the skull's mouth.
Yeah, it's creepy. So like I think it would be just an eerie video game. Like nothing like jump out at you, but just like you were so unsettled.
See, I agree. I think because genuinely the Uncharted property is literally based off of Indiana Jones. Like we all know this, it's inspired by, and Tomb Raider is kind of at least at current is kind of inspired by Uncharted. I think more in the direction of where Tomb Raider went in its first game, whereas it can be pretty freaking creepy and gross. But it still has a lot of fun with the gunplay and whatever. I think an Indiana Jones game would have a lot less gunplay and a lot more fist fighting.
Yeah. The first thing that came to mind was Tomb Raider. When
I think you could do that as like in a similar way of like you have to, it's not an open world exactly, but like kind of like, I don't know, like a Fallen Order type. There's a pretty solid like world that you can go through. You're on an island or
would you say something like a Halo Infinite open world?
Not in that style, but like maybe roughly size, something like that. So you have to, you have to find a way to find all these artifacts in different areas, not just go here, pick up a thing, but like they're all like dungeons and all puzzles, and you have to be able to preserve that stuff.
I would actually say it's an open world like Arkham Asylum.
There we go.
Because it's not too big, like Arkham City feels.
By modern
or
classifications, it's not really an open world, but it's kind of
It's not. It's a linear story, but it's still, you don't have to...
It has heavy exploration elements.
You're not like, here, go through this wall, then you're here, you have to go wall to wall to wall to checkpoint to checkpoint. It's like you just...
Yeah.
Around, And if you want to go to where you're supposed to go, you can. If you don't, find a Riddler puzzle. Riddler trophy,
Fair. I like that. So, speaking of treasure hunting, sort of, I watched The Witcher Season 2 this past week.
Oh, shit! I haven't finished it.
Damn, bro.
I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding.
Jacob just fell backwards and plugged his ears.
Whoa!
I will not be spoiling anything. But I liked this season a little bit more than I liked Season 1. It is definitely better constructed.
Yeah.
Calm down.
I agree.
So I think budget, costuming, and visual improvements on the whole, not just technical filmmaking stuff, but just general, I think they balanced out the budget a little bit more. The CG looks better for sure. The practical effects are still really good. The choreography is still really solid. I think there's less spectacle to it in a sense. It's less big. I think that was a problem I had with season 1, was it started off really small, and by the time the end was really big, and it was solid, but it wasn't. Don't do a Helm's Deep unless you can actually pull off a Helm's Deep type deal. Like there's a contain yourself. It's okay. You don't have to be that huge. So I think that on the whole was better. Even just a little example, like when they go Joker mode and they take their drugs and the eyes do the eye thing. Even that looks better. Like little stuff like that. The camera work and the editing I thought was a lot better. That is partially just due to just editing in general, because it's told linearly for the most part, unlike the first season, which was rough. There's a meta joke in this season to reference the fact that the first season was confusing, and I thought it was hilarious. I thought the performances were better all around. I mean, Henry Cavill is basically the same, but that's totally fine. The secondary characters, there are less characters, even though technically this season is bigger in concept. I don't remember her name, but the actress who plays Siri definitely went and did a little bit more stuff between these 2 seasons. She's a lot better. She's actually enjoyable to watch. Not that she was horrible before, but she definitely wasn't too experienced. And even the Anya, the actress who plays Yennefer, also partially due to Yennefer's arc in this season, is a lot more enjoyable to watch. Partially because the character's in a different place, but also I just think she got way more into the role. Triss is portrayed differently than in season 1, even just visually. I agree with Jacob's thumbs up. I really liked her in season 1, but I do like her here as well. I like how we're finally getting closer to the point in the story where Triss is relevant, because she wasn't really relevant last season very much. There are a lot of big lore changes from the source material. I don't think, if you just watch the show, you're not going to really care. Jacob is a book boy. Book boy high five. Yee. I don't have a problem with any of them, but they're definitely for the sake of adaptation. They're focusing on different parts and whatever. I thought that the book plot was definitely, because this follows a lot more closely to a book rather than the first season following the short stories and trying to weave a narrative out of it, which I think was kind of what led to the hop, skip, and a jump between timelines crap. This one following pretty closely with one short story and a book was way easier to follow. And it's only 8 episodes, which this first season was also only 8 episodes, but by the time this was done, I was like, holy shit, it's done? I binged it in 2 days, if not even. It wasn't that...
They're like 50-something minutes each.
Yeah, it's an hour. Dude, I binged most of the Netflix Marvel shows when those came out.
I binged those too, but
those are 13 hours, so shut up.
I binged those too, but this I'm still the 3rd episode, but I love it so much.
What happened?
Yeah,
what happened to Garrett's old suit?
It got fucked.
Yeah, I can't remember how
the really studded one. That was kind of weird.
He freaking broke it because he was too muscular.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, yeah.
Because now his new suit is it looks like it's
individual.
It looks like it's a human's body. And I don't really like it when armor looks like human body.
I like the fact that he spends most of the season just vibing in a shirt, to be honest. I like it is partially just a Henry Cavill thing, because it's when he's doing that as Clark Kent, it also looks really cool. But he's just vibing in a t-shirt. He pulls it off. Leave me alone. Fuck you.
So, I do. At first, I really hated the suit. Because I just don't like human looking body suits. I just don't. When it's medieval armor or whatever.
Oh yeah, we got rid of the nutsack armor too.
Yeah.
We see it in the first episode because it's the aftermath of that battle, but then they switched it over to some gold plated, and it's definitely better.
Yeah, but I do like it now.
That's good.
But that really suit, right?
Yeah, no, I didn't mind the one from the first season by any means. It was just, it's not as exciting to look at. It seemed, that's vaguely, I don't know how exactly if the studs are going to work. Get some historian on this stuff, but... it was just kind of lackluster to look at, so I think they got him out of it as soon as they realized people weren't. It wasn't selling.
So I did.
It wasn't selling merch too much. I think on the whole, I'm very pleased with this. I am beginning to sense a direction that they are moving in, like on the whole, which is something with the first season I was a little concerned about. It wasn't aimless by any means, but it felt more like setup, but not directly pointed in one direction. Like we're setting up a bunch of things and we could focus on a bunch of different aspects. It was kind of not loosey-goosey, but it just felt like we're doing the short stories.
It was open-ended.
Yeah. And it's like, now it's like, I sense where we're going. You're changing a lot of stuff, which I'm interested in, and I appreciate it. And the monsters do definitely look better this season. And there's, I think, less of them. And Jaskier is great. He is not in it very much. Sorry, Jacob.
There was a lot of them in the first season.
Yeah, there's a lot less. I think he's actually really good in this because he's actually plot relevant now. He's not just a cool sidekick.
Did we get the plot where his wifey is upset because he's been taken away?
I will not answer that question because that may or may not include spoilers.
Ooh.
I do like... I think his performance is also good, and also the new song we get freaking slaps.
My biggest complaint about Witcher 3 is that storyline when I found his wifey and she was crying. They did not art her very well. It looked like a dude that was cross-dressing. And I was convinced Dandelion was going out with a dude dressed like a woman. But no,
I wouldn't put it past him, to be honest. He doesn't seem to care.
But I was like, what is going on?
Confusion. What else you been doing, my boy?
A little thing called The Sandman, the Deluxe Edition, Book 1.
Oh.
Written by Neil Gaiman.
Oh, yeah.
It has the first 16 issues of The Sandman and Sandman Midnight Theater #1, which I did not read.
Midnight Theater.
Yeah, it was. It's a rough issue, and I caught it at a bad time, so I did not end up reading it. But I read the first 16 issues. Very well written. You don't need to know anything about its mythology going into it. It explains itself very, very well. There are so many fine details. Like, page 3 of the first issue is relevant to issues 13 through 16 of the story. It's so good. There's so many layers.
Layers. Like an onion?
Like an ogre.
If I'm being entirely honest, whenever I've brought up Sandman, and because I always thought that the audio version would interest you, just in the general sense of you're not usually into like really metaphysical things, and this is entirely, literally about concepts, literally, but presented physically. So I never really knew if you're going to be into this. I'm very happy to hear that you didn't hate it.
It holds my hand, though.
That's true.
It explains the metaphysical with examples.
You like that? Hold your hand.
I liked it. It holds my hand and talks to me like I'm 2.
Dream does kind of talk down to people, to be fair.
It is true. His
How's
sister's
the art?
kind of a meat.
Which one?
Desire.
True.
The artwork is very, very interesting. It feels like this story, this comic line was the influence for that Hellstrom comic that I read and complained about. It's kind of the same artwork, but Hellstrom took it to like maximum overdrive and made it scary, whereas Sandman is off-putting, but it's not a nightmare. It's tough to explain.
Well, it is a dream, not a nightmare.
Yes.
Please do shoot me in the head for that.
I mean, I kind of set you up for it.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was getting at.
Did you check out Dave McKean's covers, the original covers? They must be in there somewhere.
Is that the dude who does Arkham Asylum?
Yeah.
Yes, they were on there for every issue.
Oh, if I remember correctly, this is the work he started getting really popular for. It's so good. Look at those covers.
I don't understand it, but it kind of looks like an I Spy book.
Interesting.
There's a lot of just random shit thrown together.
What?
What are you doing?
I have a ball itch, okay? Continue.
Oh.
When that happens.
I thought it was a ball cramp.
Oof.
Oh, yeah.
It looked like you were in pain.
Oof. No. I mean, it's an itch, so you have to... Because, you can't... You gotta do,
That's what I usually do.
You gotta go
Just slap it and rub.
You gotta, like, do... It's like a...
Oh!
No, you do, like... It's like a pinchy, like, scratch. You're grabbing like the two
Yeah, like
sides.
the dog ear.
Yeah.
Pinch and scratch.
Yeah, like that.
No, I just slap and rub.
That's weird.
Please tell me you don't actually do that.
cut Jeep.
When you freshly shave your balls, I get cut Jeep. That's what my girlfriend does every time.
Oof. Any final thoughts on Neil Gaiman's The Sandman?
Nope. I'm excited to read book 2, and I'm pretty sure that's all there is.
Are you reading it physically or? Yes. Ooh, sexy.
Colin needs another question.
I do, actually.
He does.
Colin, what do you expect from the Ahsoka TV show? What is it gonna do? Who's gonna be in it? Like, what new characters are gonna be introduced? New as in new to the live action world.
I think it's gonna be.
A reintroduction of Frogman and Frogwoman.
No, shut up.
I think that.
I like the frog people.
That's because they're literally you.
Yeah, I know.
I think it would be cool that. I think it's gonna be something to do with her and Thrawn.
Oh, with pretty sure.
It's
I
gotta
think we
be.
have that
That's
already
who-
confirmed.
That's who she's already looking for.
Yeah.
So I think the storyline is just that, and her. I don't think she's done discovering who she is yet. I think she's still doing that, and she's having a hard time still. And she's learning who she is as a... In the ways of the Force.
In the ways of the Force.
Yeah.
Fair. Do you think we'll see, on that note, do you think...
and get Darth Vader,
Flashbacks, yes.
Yeah,
I
flashbacks
think
of her and
there
Rebel.
was some news about Hayden Christensen potentially doing some flashback scenes for that.
Or,
Maybe.
or them as Anakin and Ahsoka,
That would be...
and get, like, a different actress, a younger actress.
I think they would CG that. Just with how Disney... just with how Lucasfilm has been doing all of it.
Yeah.
They're very stingy on rehiring. I think because of what happened with Solo, even though I think everyone afterwards was like, those were both all fine.
Mm-hmm.
But then beforehand, it was like, this isn't my Harrison Ford. Boomers.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, this sounds actually the only reason I'm thinking about it is because you said discovering herself, and I'm now realizing that Ahsoka has had zero romantic interest in literally anybody this entire time.
No. When in Clone Wars, when she was younger, it was with that prince.
Did that really count?
Not really, but it
Like
did
30
a little
seconds
bit.
of flirting.
Nah,
Maybe.
it was a little bit shoot.
She was like 14.
Will she ever be a Jedi Master?
No,
No.
because she's not a Jedi.
No.
I think she'll be a master of the Force.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we'll see, or I would like to see that. But I think it would be nice if she had a romantic interest.
What will her lightsaber colors finalize as?
White.
White.
It's staying as white.
It's staying as white?
staying-
yeah,
as white.
no, because that's her, like, see, it's her being edgelord Grey Jedi shit. That's not changing.
But she's not a great Jedi.
Yes, she is. She falls
Oh,
into
no, she is. Sorry, she is a great Jedi. She's like one of our only live-action great Jedis.
basically. The term
Because
has never been said.
Qui-Gon Jinn is not. He's
No.
still a Jedi.
Yep.
It's just he's like how a Jedi should be.
Yeah. It's just the term isn't being used because it is mega fucking cringe, to be fair.
Yeah, it is, because people made it that way. That's what sucks. I made it that way when I was 14.
Same.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to get if we're going to follow up on because I think a couple of years ago it sounded like we're going to get an animated continuation of that story from Rebels with Ahsoka and Sabine after Return of the Jedi, like looking for Thrawn and Ezra.
I would like to
So
see an animated version of that.
I think we're just getting that in live action.
And maybe we'll get a live action of her.
That's what I was about to say. Is I think we're going to be getting a live action Sabine, and we're definitely getting a live action Thrawn because we're getting a casting call for that as well, which will be really cool. There have been like nonstop rumors about who's going to be Ezra, which is real weird. I have no idea on that one, but I would be cool.
It would be what's his name? Timothy Chalamet.
No,
Yeah, it would be him.
no.
It'd be so funny if it was.
Timothy
It would make no
Chalamet.
sense because he's so white.
He's so white.
Yeah, I know. It would be
Ezra's
so bad.
very, very not white.
He's
So
very, very not white.
definitely not,
I cast Spencer.
sir.
Last talking point. Spencer, what have you done?
So I did more Witcher.
Whoa.
Witcher.
So I watched Nightmare of the Wolf, which is the animated prequel movie.
To the whole show?
Yes,
Oh, wait, when did that come out?
this year. So the official synopsis is Vesemir, a cocky young witcher, delights in slaying monsters for coin when a dangerous new power rises in the continent. Vesemir learns that some witchering jobs are about more than just money. Okay, basically, this is Vesemir's origin story, who is basically Geralt's daddy. So we see Vesemir being poor and doing stuff, and then he meets a witcher, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, this guy does cool stuff for money. Please take me with you." He abandons his childhood crush, friend, girl, whatever. Makes money. They never speak again. So, and a lot of this is told non-chronologically, which for this movie, actually, that was a very strong detriment. It really didn't need to be, and it didn't feel like not that the movie didn't intend to, but it felt like all of the stuff that was presented in a non-linear fashion could have been easily strung together, like, really well. Like, it felt like they might have cut out stuff and then made it non-linear or whatever. This opens up with some of the most violent shit I've seen in an anime. It was so good. So we have... Okay, so it opens up, kids singing a song, whatever. A cart's on the side of the road. There's some kids in the car. It's a family trying to move or whatever. And then this kid's taking a piss, and he's singing a song. And then a freaking monster comes up behind his dad. So you're looking at this dad's head, like they're talking, you know? And then, shit, what are they called?
It's like an owl.
It's another thing.
So the
Lichen.
Like, there we go.
No, lichen is underworld.
Yeah.
That's werewolf. It's
Good catch, by the way.
It's close. Lycian. There we go.
Lycian, yes.
So this Lycian comes up behind this dad, and he takes his vine, and he just right through the back of this dude's mouth. So like that, and then the head gets ripped off the body, and then he just goes to town. He murders all the children.
I need to see this.
It's
Sounds
so
like tentacle point.
It's no. It's so nasty. The kid survives. Vesemir comes in, saves the day. That's how we meet Vesemir. Blah blah blah. So he's killing this Lycian, which is relevant to season 2. Jacob knows where the book plot is going, so you probably have an idea what it is. It's not how the books do it at all. You don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. But a general direction with this movie that I am now piecing together in retrospect is this actually set up a lot of stuff for season 2 pretty well. Not directly, but introduces it to the universe. Like how right before Rise of Skywalker came out on The Mandalorian, Yoda did some force healing, which was speculated to be a thing, so he did it, and then right after that episode aired, we saw it in Rise of Skywalker. It feels like that. Like, this is very loosely coordinated ideas.
You said Yoda in Mandalorian.
Baby
You said
Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
I didn't hear baby.
Actually, I don't think I did hear baby.
Whatever, Grogu.
But I understood what you
Little
meant.
boy. Something like that. Like, it was communicated that, hey, this is what we're doing, and then someone said, hey, we could probably work with that to make it more relevant. So it feels not, like, direct setup at all. It's just loose. We also get to see Geralt in this movie, who is only named right at the end. It's not like he's a big character. It's just timeline-wise. In season 2, we hear Geralt talking to Ciri about the last attack on Kaer Morhen, which we see in this movie. It's the final battle of this movie. So it feels direct, but not like prequel bait type stuff. It feels like it was genuinely a good Vesemir story. I think the action was phenomenal.
Mary McDonnell voices one of the characters.
Yeah. So does Graham McTavish. The violence was really good. The action alternates between really, really good swordplay stuff in the first half, and then the second half is a lot more fantastical. There's more magic and whatever. I think it's excellent. It uses the form of anime in... Colin's going to hate me for this, but I genuinely like Americanized anime a little bit more than like traditional like Japanese anime. I know, I'm a savage.
I gotta be
I don't
honest
care.
though, this art style kind of looked like Berserk. Kinda.
I kind of get what you're saying.
You're scaring me now.
I disagree on execution.
You're talking about the shitty show Berserk?
Maybe.
Oh no!
It's not. No. It's not like that. But
You've seen the movies though, right?
No.
Oh,
I've seen
those
pictures.
those
I've seen
will literally
pictures
those will literally
online
redeem.
of all of the Berserks. So I'm saying generally it's got its own kind of flavor, and there's a little bit of this in that.
I wouldn't say that, but I do kind of get the idea of what you're saying. I think this is really good. It doesn't have, that random thing I always bitch about with anime, how it feels cheap because you have painting or background image and then moving stuff.
Sometimes it is cheap.
And sometimes that's fine. Like in something, even like Nausicaa, where it's like painted backgrounds, that's fine.
But the art style fits it because of how soft they are.
But when it's an action-oriented, like fantasy anime, I freaking hate that. It feels cheap as shit. And this has like none of that. It all not moves, but it all feels cohesive. It was definitely done digitally, like 100%, which is fine. There are no random 3D anime moments, where sometimes it's like, that's a 3D model. Where did that come from? None of that crap.
That happens sometimes with the Berserk movies,
Yeah,
but
it has nothing to do with that.
But like, you can get over it.
Yeah, I know, because I was there when we discussed this.
We've
discussed this like 4 times, Colin.
watched the first movie.
We've talked about the Berserk movies and anime like 5
And we will
times.
literally keep talking to them every single time it comes
Until
up.
we actually watch them, and then we'll talk about it so we can shut the fuck up.
You need to watch the next 2.
I need to actually watch them without you distracting me.
Oh, that's true. I was distracting you.
I really like this. This is one of the better animes I've seen in modern whatever. I genuinely prefer the tone. I watched it in English, obviously. This was originally produced in English. It was produced by an actual Japanese anime studio, but this has actors from other Witcher properties and stuff, so it would have felt really weird to do this in Japanese. Action's good, world building's good, characters are good, decent emotional beats. It does some of the kind of generic mentor with good intentions does bad things, trainee has to end them type stuff. Some master and apprentice type stuff, which I have no problems with. I'm a sucker for that. I really liked it. I enjoyed it. It was brief. It was like an hour and 25 minutes or whatever. So it was on the short end, and it feels cool.
Americanized anime isn't bad.
No, I get why it sounds like, because it's more.
The only people that freak out about that are gatekeepers.
That's frankly most of the anime community are really gatekeepy, and I get that because even I do that with subs and dubs. Like, it depends on what it is.
I think you just have a really bad time with the community because I have been around quite a bit of really good anime communities.
Yeah.
So that's just really.
That's also because you've been in it longer, which means they're already more friendly to you.
Well, also,
It's harder to get into it.
It is a little harder. You just gotta tell them to like fucking suck your ass.
Yes.
Oh, jeez. Let me see if I can do it.
Fuck. Can you guys stop shitting on my bed, please? I recommend this for both of you guys, whether just for the anime or for the Witcher stuff. I think it's just really good.
Have seen.
I will see.
Did you enjoy
I will watch it tonight.
I don't remember.
No, it was better than I expected.
I will watch it tonight.
Do
when I
it.
get home.
It's pretty short.
I really want to just take this and go
Please
take
don't.
the spring off.
How about you don't?
But like,
Guys, don't touch it. What else do we have? Is that all?
That's it.
That's all 3 of us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roll the outro.
I'm
gonna smack you.
No, listen. That's our outro music now.
Are you done?
You have to clip that. That's our outro music.
Are you done now? Can I speak? Colin. Okay. A massive thank you to our patrons over on patreon.com/dimecomicbros. A big thanks to Wesley Eden and Jeff Lawrence, as well as Business Casual, all of our Simpsons characters.
Bunch of simps.
Bunch of dweebs. They give us money, which is cool, so we say their names. If you want to support us on Patreon, you will help keep the lights on. You'll buy Colin a new iPad eventually. Maybe, I don't know.
Probably not.
We'll be able to
I can just trade this in.
we'll be able to afford you a new pen. How about that?
No, not the Apple Pen.
The generic one.
Yeah,
A literal
Pineapple.
pen.
A literal
Apple
A
Bic.
literal yeah.
Not
Yeah,
a
literally.
clicky one, just a Bic.
Yeah, we'll get a pack of like 10. That's about our shoestring budget. You can also get your name shouted out. Eventually, at some point, you might be able to vote on different topics. You get to interact with us, get some exclusive clips, segments, as well as an additional show, sort of, Dime Comic Bros Happy Hour, which is just kind of us shooting the shit after we record this podcast, crack open a beer, grab some food, whatever. That varies in length wildly. I don't know if you can call that an additional segment or a show or a shit post. It really depends on who's here what week. You also get unlimited, roughly, access to stickers of all sorts of designs that we have had, mostly designed by Colin, our art boy, as he dicks around on his iPad like a fucking nerd.
I'm an iPad baby.
You're a child. Feel free to follow us on Twitter and Instagram for updates, behind-the-scenes stuff, teasers on what's coming next, all sorts of fun stuff. Visit our website at dimecomicbros.com. If you want some more information, go check out my web design. Stroke my ego, please, for the love of God. I need someone to tell me that it looks okay.
Also, listen to our other show, Dime Gaming Bros.
Yeah, we do have to plug that show.
We were really creative the night that we named it. We're excited to be talking video games
That is a show where Jacob and I go over a couple of games. We give them some reviews. We talk about some tech and gaming news. We'll talk about some new games.
Not Tekken.
Not Tekken.
You are
Tekken
Tekken.
sucks. But tech and gaming news, new trailers, new game announcements, all sorts of fun stuff. That is a once-a-month podcast. You can find that wherever you find this podcast, so on YouTube and basically all audio platforms.
Except TuneIn. We're 2 years into this, and they still haven't returned my emails, so screw them.
True.
I'm on strike from TuneIn.
Oh no, who cares?
Nobody. I don't know anybody that uses TuneIn.
Yeah, no
I don't know
idea.
what that is.
So next week is a very, very, very chunky news week. We have delayed the news quite a bit, so we're going to have roughly a month's worth of comic book nerd news to discuss. So it's going to be real fun. It's definitely going to be a long one next week.
The only
I look
reason
forward to it.
why I want to connect us to TuneIn is because it is integrated really, really well with the Amazon Alexa dots. So when I do things like, hey, Alexa, play Dime Comic Bros podcast, it's not going to work.
You really want to do that one thing.
I really want to set off somebody's dot.
You have no socks on.
I never do. It's my own house. Fuck you. Keep your house clean. Keep your house clean.
Keep your house clean.
No.
That's a double entendre if I've ever heard one.
He is not built like a brick shit house.
You're-
Colin, keep your box clean.
I can't. Nothing runs like a deer.
A John Deere.
Why do you have that sticker?
Because I collected it when I was like 14.
Ugh, 14-year-old Spencer. I barf.
It was a sticker, and I saw a sticker, and I was like, shit, I'll put that on my door.
John Deere is like the Apple of tractors.
It's so bad. Everything about John Deere fucking sucks. Their stuff is crap. Their warranties are garbage.
I love
They
using...
treat their employees like absolute dog
I
shit.
love using that analogy. I said the other day that Jeep is the Apple of cars.
Kind of is. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
I like Apple, though.
You're fucking dumb, gay, and young. Shut up.
You
Yeah.
just have to use it properly. It has a use. It's just...
Oh, I know, duh. Of course it does. It's
But
just
it's
the entire
expensive and
aesthetic is based off of being excessively user friendly and not having the technology to really back it up, which is fine. But don't charge an arm and a leg for it.
Parts are
Sure.
proprietary.
They're proprietary.
Oh, no,
but
yeah,
they're
it is
also made in the
bullshit that I
same.
had to
they're-
buy this pen separate.
But they're also they're also
almost $100
manufactured in
for
the
this
same
pen.
warehouses
For this
as
pen.
they're manufactured by the same companies that make Nintendo products because they don't even own their own warehouses and
Yep.
their own manufacturing facilities. That's why everything's so expensive.
We're not going to make this a hardware podcast.
We will. Yes, we will. Come on to the Dime Gaming Bros and maybe we'll talk about tech.
Jeez, no. I'm good. Jeez, you farted on his bed, bro.
I farted where his feet go.
His feet goes over the bed.
Not if he's...
How do you sleep? Do you sleep
Facing
scrunched?
that way.
Or do you sleep diagonal? Or do you sleep with your legs
I
over?
bet he
Or your feet over the
sleeps
bed?
spread eagle. Just starfish.
That's how I sleep.
I try. No, you don't.
I do.
No, you don't. You curl up.
Not when you're in the bed.
Yeah, you curl up in a fucking ball behind me.
You're like, ooh, big spoon.
Because there's no other room.
He tries big spooning me.
And I don't even realize I do.
You don't identify as gamer gender.
We're losing it.
We're almost done. So the
Stupid belter.
Shut up. You don't even know what that's from.
No.